Praise the Lord. My name is Isaiah Marshall, and welcome to the Front Runner Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Monica Harrison is with us today. How you doing?
I am good, Isaiah. Thanks for having me. It's a privilege to be on with you today.
Awesome, awesome. So you and I know each other from afar, and just so appreciative of you coming on and being a guest on the podcast. But I know many of the listeners may not know who you are. So, who is Monica Harrison?
Oh, good question. No, no. So I am a spoken word artist, born and raised in South Carolina, currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm not sure how much information you need. Married, three children.
Hey.
Yeah. A couple months ago, it was three teenagers in the house. So
I know
um,
you are creative, a spoken word artist. Tell us about your journey to becoming a spoken word artist. And did you go to school or did you study certain things? Like how did that come about?
Okay. I did not go to school for it. However, I did start writing when I was in elementary school. So at a very young age, I
Really?
picked up the pad and the pen, and it was for me just a way to get out some of the things that was built up on the inside. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like therapy for me.
Okay.
As I wasn't very expressive verbally as a child, as a young adult. Um, I may still need a couple of classes or just getting
Oh, for
stuff out.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but
Same.
yeah. So I started writing in elementary school and it just progressed from there. I would just write about random stuff. It was no purpose, no reason for it other than let me just get something out. So
Oh, so
um
you've been writing since elementary school. So when did you say, at what point where you was like, man, I want to become a spoken word artist? Like,
okay. So freshman year in college,
okay.
I went to my first open mic and I was like, I write poetry. Let me go on stage and let me just, it was random, just some
Okay.
impromptu. I didn't plan on doing anything. So I
Yeah.
went to the open mic and I got on the mic there and um I think I took my notebook with me. I didn't have it memorized because it wasn't something that I was pursuing.
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
took my notebook with me and I read a piece, and the crowd reception was like, "Oh, that's so good." And I
Really?
was like, "Oh, really?"
That was encouraging. It was like a
Absolutely. Absolutely. So from
wow.
then it was like I think I found, like you ever found a place where you fit like this this I think I found home for me. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just the stage, but in that space of just expressing where other people could connect with me at the same time. So
Wow.
it was freeing and it was challenging at the same time. But I was after that first open mic, I was hooked.
You was like, this is it. This home.
Absolutely.
You was hooked. I know for me and my experience, like I grew up sort of like, I mean, my focus was just athletics. And
Hmm.
so very narrow focused. And but that's what I love. That's what I did all through, middle school, high school, college. I ran
Hmm.
track. And I started off at Mississippi State University.
Cool.
And for me, being away from home, again, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So that was a distance away from home. And just the challenges that I was navigating there away from family.
Hmm.
And I can remember taking those Greyhound bus rides back home, which was like a 24-hour journey. And I don't know, it was just something about just sitting in that bus and having a journal and just writing. And that's kind of how I passed time. And it wasn't no structure or anything like that. It was just me writing about challenges that I was
Hmm.
having. But as you mentioned, it was a way for me to process. It
Uh-huh.
was therapeutic for me. And I think, I can't necessarily say at what point I said I want to become a spoken word artist, but I know that experience kind of helped develop this desire and this passion to write and create a creative write, and then also transition into performing
Uh-huh.
poetry. And so I didn't know that this I didn't realize at least that this was a great desire for me until I stopped competing in track and field. And so it's like I lost the thing that I love, but again, a way for me to process some of that, grieving this thing that I held on to for so long and had to let go. I just began writing. And then eventually started turning into form. And, it just, again, it was just a way to process and therapeutic for sure.
That's good. That's good. I like how God just used something individual I was talking to, as far as like how there are things that we may not recognize when we're young or growing up, and God just bring it back to the forefront. Like, now I was in this the whole time. You just
for
didn't
sure.
know
You ain't know it. You're right. Yeah. I was preparing you for something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, like, how would you then describe what a spoken word artist is? Ooh. So, like, some people don't, like how, like, people know rap, they know rappers, but like, it seems like, at least in my experience, it seems like spoken word is sort of one of those lost arts in terms of like popularity.
Okay.
And so, like, many people may not fully understand what a spoken word artist is. So how would you describe that and what you do?
Okay. So I would say I have two definitions, or two ways to describe it. One, I'm a Christian spoken word artist, but there are some venues and avenues that I go to where it's not necessarily Christian. And so when I do get up, I would explain spoken word as poetry with power. It's, like some crowds are used to the Edgar Allan Poes and, just certain flow of poetry. So I'm like, okay, they're expecting something, but I need to tell you it's a little bit more expressive
for sure.
Just reading it off the paper. So that's one definition. The second, if I am in a more Christian environment, I tell them I'm the shortest preacher that you would ever experience. Like, I will go through Genesis to Revelations in 3 minutes. And, you've been through church, you had a whole sermon, you had a altar call, and all of that good stuff all wrapped up in one. So,
it's like that power wrapped up in, 3 minutes and such a concise time frame, for sure. I'm out front running all day.